In the Catholic Church all over the world, we are starting the synod these days, today, in all the dioceses. Even in our Kolkata Archdiocese, we are going to begin the synod with the Mass at the Cathedral at 10 a.m. What is this synod? Synod is a kind of meeting that takes place once in 3 or 4 years, when our Pope decides to have a meeting of basically bishops when they gather in Rome. And this synod that is going to take place, not in diocese proper, it is going to be in Rome 2023, October. But Pope wanted this time, synod is not just for bishops alone, it is for everybody, and everybody should participate in it. So he wanted a kind of preparation in the diocese with a kind of diocesan synod. So we are going to have these days diocesan synod. Today is the opening day and it will go up to January. And all of us, people in the families, the parishes, associations, groups and movements, young, old, children, everybody will be asked to participate in different ways. They are actually preparing the ground to go ahead with this synod in the diocese. Now, the word synod is not English. It is not English. It is a kind of two Greek words. It is coming from there. That does not mean synod means meeting. Originally, synod did not mean meeting. It meant two Greek words meant to walk together. That's the meaning of the synod. Walk together. So in fact, during the synod, we are walking together as a church. And this coming synod, 2023, preparing for that synod in our diocese now, the theme is walking together. Theme is synod. So synod is going to discuss on synod. And who is walking together? All of us are walking together. All of us. And that is the image of the church. Church is something or someone, all people together walking. So that's the meaning of the synod, and there is a big logo or symbol, people of all kinds walking together. Young people, old people, children, even priests, nuns, bishop, everybody walking together in the church. Now, what happens when we walk together? So you may wonder, oh, walking together, what's the purpose behind? What happens? Some of us may walk together for a walk. Some of us may go for a walking together for a pilgrimage or a picnic. What happens when we go for walking together? If nothing happens to us when we walk together and we come back after walking together without any change, as it was in the beginning, is now and ever shall be, it happens to most of us. There is no purpose in walking together. So Synod, Pope said, walking together should help us to let ourselves to be transformed. Letting ourselves to be transformed, educated and instructed during this walk. That's the purpose of walking. So there will be some change when we walk together. How do we experience that change when we walk together? So if you are walking together and you don't interact, you don't talk, you don't listen, you don't look at the other, there is no transformation. There is no letting ourselves to be transformed. So walking together should help us to interact with each other, talk to each other, listen to each other, share with each other. Then there will be some change in all of us. That is the purpose of real walking together. Sometimes, or most of the times, we walk at times together with others, but we have separate walking from each other. And this is what happened to the two disciples in the gospel of today. They want to walk separate from the rest of the disciples. No, they want to have separate walking in their life. And they asked Jesus, no, we want to have a special place in heaven. One on your right, the other one on the left. James this side, John this side, and Jesus in the center. They want to have a special walk with Jesus, leaving the rest of the 10 disciples there. Many of us sometimes think about this type of walk, this type of life together. Secluded and exclusive to our little world. And we sometimes live and die in that little world. Not connected to others, not even interacting with others, in our life. So Jesus trying to teach these two disciples and rest of the disciples to some lessons. How they need to walk together in life. And how do they be different when they walk together. And he teaches them few things when Jesus tells all the disciples some things today's gospel. I will take out 3 important messages Jesus teaches these disciples, because when these 2 disciples came and told Jesus for a recommendation in the post, other disciples were jealous. Of course, even among us also there will be jealousy and problems like this. So Jesus first told them, first thing, simplicity of life, very important. What is simplicity of life? Be simple, be poor. And Jesus trying to tell them his own life. Born poor, living poor, dying poor. And he lived with the poor people. Poor people need not be also economically poor. The poor people can be poor because they are outcasts or they are sinners. The rest are all rich in their mindset. So Jesus was with those type of poor people. Poor in every way. So Jesus was trying to tell them, first you be poor, simple persons, and also interact with the other people. So that's the first lesson he taught them. Because disciples were worried about their own little world, not the world of the others who were suffering, poor. So simplicity. Second thing Jesus taught them was service. What is this service? Jesus said, I came to serve, not to be served. And he showed them an example towards the end of his life by washing their feet. That only slaves would do. And he told them an act of a slave at that time. And this service is that he asked all the disciples. The Mass we celebrate, another word for Mass is service. Service of the table. It is a service actually. We call ministries in the church or ministers in the church. Ministers of communion. What is the meaning of minister or ministry in English even? It means service. Prime Minister, first in service. Pope, first servant of the servants. Chief Minister, chief executor of service. Minister means service. That's a word, English language coming from. So Jesus was trying to tell them, be serving others, but don't look for being served. Sometimes we do not behave as ministers, but we behave as managers, and ministers become managers. We are here to serve people. So that is how we move out of our self-centered world to the other person's world, by serving people. And finally he said sacrifice. He said, I came to die. And that death he had come for, he was willing to give up in his life. And sacrifice, the word sacrifice coming from a Latin word sacra. Sacra means sacred. Sacrifice is some sacred act. That means when you sacrifice something in your life, you are giving up or giving something from your life. Giving is sacred. Giving is divine. And when I give, I move out of myself. I am connected to the other. I am sensitive to the other. That is sacrifice. Disciples were not worried about giving up or giving part of their life. They were worried about their own selves. So when we are sacrificing, when we are serving, and when we are simple in our lives, we walk together. We listen to each other. We share with each other. That is church. That is called synod. Pope Francis likes always one proverb, an African proverb. He quotes that proverb very often. He says, if you want to go fast, walk alone. If you want to go far, walk together. Church is walking together. Our life should be walking together. Walking alone, speed may come. But walking together, we will learn many things in life. There will be change in everyone and all of us.